Hey guys out there, you listen to the Prodigy, Drew Duckworth, right here on the Tapped Out Podcast. And just like the Prodigy, this podcast is looking towards the future, so keep listening, guys, for upcoming episodes.
Hey folks, it's Myron from the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. I'm here with Nick again today.
What's going on, guys?
And we are joined live in studio with Andrew Duckworth. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. Good. Really appreciate you guys having me on. So.
Oh, no. Thank you. Thank you for participating in our first studio interview, man. We've been wanting this to happen for so long, but one, to get you on, and two, to get a live guest in studio, and we doubled up and hit everything out of the park.
Same thing for me. Yes. I mean, first live podcast here, and then being able to actually be on my first ever podcast. That's pretty cool, man. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, we turned on to you by our buddy Scene Nick. How you doing out there, Nick? If I know you're listening. You love us. Yeah, he's been saying good things about you. So I got to doing some research and watching some matches, and man, you are a hot name up there in the Cornelia market and getting all over the state of Georgia right now.
I appreciate it, man. Just putting in the work, and I just put myself in a position when I'm working with the right people, and just opportunities are opening up.
Now, that's a real big market up there in Cornelia for independent wrestling.
Definitely.
Tell me a little bit about how it develops. Who all's up there right now? What you got going on?
I would definitely say, with Rick Michaels, Nigel Sherrod's up there, and just the production team that they have up there, period, that helps out with everything from security to the guys that actually help run some of the cameras and stuff like that. I mean, it's just top notch.
Yeah.
But with your Anarchy group, I mean, you got that core of where people will see those familiar faces of guys like Slim J and Billy Buck and Strychnine. Those guys are still there. Yeah. And now with NCW, you're still getting that same effect. It's not like NCW is being treated as a second thought. Like, it's legit, focused on just as much as Anarchy with just younger talent. I think a lot of us are able to build out of Cornelia right now because you got guys like Rick and Nigel that are investing into us and giving us a platform to grow on.
Yeah, I know that the arena there photographs incredibly well from the inside.
It definitely does.
Man, it looks sharp in there.
It does. They got the new lights up and everything and the entryway, and then, I mean, everybody revved up for the Wild Side reunion when it was there. So, yeah, that it's ready to go. It looks nice.
That drew pretty big up there.
That hit national news. Now, come on.
Yeah.
There was a reason that place hit some national news. So.
And I've been running my mouth, too. Like, I'm like, this is a house that Duckworth built. And then I was booked somewhere, and I was like, I wanted to be there, and then AJ showed up, and I was like, here it is, my opportunity. And it's gone. Yeah, as soon as I claim it's my house, he shows back up and takes it back. Like, what are you going to do?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's because at this point, I think any halls he's passed through, I think that's now built the house that AJ Styles built.
I'm even using it like because I'm announced from Gainesville, Georgia, because that's really where I'm from, and I'll go and I'm like, no, correct that, greatest wrestler out of Gainesville, Georgia. People obviously hate it, and then I get the whole AJ, and I'm like, who's?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Now, well, speaking of that, AJ had a very unique career history and his path to get to the WWE. He was TNA, he was WCW, Japan, all around. How do you see your path in the future?
I don't see me doing that extensive of traveling. I think that I'm more focused on just trying to, I guess what I would say that I do is I try to focus on that old school style and make it relevant again. You see so many guys are like, I'll just do what the new school guys are doing and stuff like that. And I feel like if you hone a craft, even though like old school wrestling, what you would call like Memphis style or something like that, a lot of people are saying it's like obsolete. I think it's on life support, don't get me wrong, but I think my travels are going to take me around that area, coming back in
Southeast.
Staying in the Southeast and just really learning that trade. I think it's going to come back.
I can see where it would, because when you see people doing it, it reminds you of the kind of wrestling that I watched as a kid, the kind of stuff that made wrestling great, for lack of a better way, that kind of put it on the map. The WCW, the top that built to that, Continental, Southeastern Championship Wrestling from Georgia.
Definitely.
You got all that classic stuff, and you got those sold so many tickets.
Those matches are built on moments, not moves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's why I really connect with that old school style.
Yeah. Now, in order to do that, though, you have to be able to work a storyline, and you have to be able to work a promo. Where are you developing that? How are you working hard on that? Or you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I guess a lot of my experience lately has been coming from these seminars and super camps and stuff like that, where you get the opportunity to work with like One Fall Power Factory. Their big like grand opening super camp and everything. They had, Danny Cage came down. You had Glacier, QT, Punishment. I mean, and Delirious himself were all there.
Oh,
but then they brought in like Robert Palgrove and Keith Brooks, who Robert Palgrove's been in like Taken 3, and then Keith Brooks has been on Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And they came in, and you had to deliver stuff like you had to deliver your lines in a certain emotion in a certain way, and they gave you a script to work. So learning stuff like that, and like they even went into like getting to look at actual scripts from wrestling TV shows, so you can kind of get an idea of how you're supposed to work.
That's awesome. So, I've never thought about that with actors developing stuff like that. I've talked to a lot of wrestling people who work on their promos with their wrestling, but we're bringing actors, and that makes perfect sense because wrestling right now on the big stage is written by TV writers.
Yep. Yeah, with when they brought those guys in, it really gave it a different feel, and like I don't know, you could feel like you could really put on your character's skin and get into it just by the way these guys helped you. Pretty much getting the mindset of how to deliver a line. It was a lot more work than I actually thought went into it.
That is awesome, man. And they're doing that right here in the local area, too.
Yeah, right at Buford, which the location will be moving to Chip Smith Performance Center in November. But it's still right there in Norcross. I mean, easy accessible. So.
Yeah, you can get it's right on the interstate, man. You get down there easily.
I want to jump in and ask you a question because you asked something. You brought up something that I've been hearing a lot from, and one of the big things was I got lucky. I went out to a promotion we talked about earlier, off air, and there was a seminar there, and Al Snow was the teacher. And one of the things he always said is about investing in yourself, going to camps, going to seminars. He's like, the guys that don't do this, you won't invest in yourself, but you want to work for a company where 30 seconds of TV time costs, $500,000.
Exactly. Yeah, an amazing amount of money.
Why would Vince invest in you if you're not willing to invest in yourself? So you give me, tell some advice to those guys because you're doing it. Obviously, you're talking.
Oh, obviously, yeah, dude.
So let everybody out there know like that's how important that is.
I don't know if people are just sleeping on them or what, because a lot of the seminars I've went to recently, like, wasn't the turnout that I thought they would be. Like, I've been to. To the One Fall ones. I even went up to Monster Factory. I mean, it was large, and just getting on that learning curve where you're going up to somewhere like New Jersey, and I got to work actually on the Monster Factory show afterwards. And you learn really quick that you need to go to these things. You need to meet with multiple, professional wrestlers that's actually made a career and made a living doing this, and you start to pick up their avenues and see how they got to where they're going. But overall, like, you can't work a New Jersey crowd the same way you can in Canton, Georgia. It's two totally different things, and it's going to take. You can't learn to do both things from one guy. It's not going to happen. That's why, like with One Fall, like I'm in a very comfortable situation where I've got Glacier, who was through the WCW era and stuff like that, and then you have QT, who is with Ring of Honor, and he's done stuff like that. So you have this newer style meeting that old style, keeping you anchored but innovative. So it's neat, man. And as far as seminars go, if you're not investing in them, you're wasting your time.
No,
you really are.
Are y'all working on those Glacier style entrances with the light shows and the fake snow?
I'm hoping we get to that. I mean, I would love to have that entrance. I'm not even gonna lie.
That still sticks out in my head, man. All those years later,
definitely
seeing him come down like that.
Yeah, and I mean, because I'll ask you some follow up question to the seminar thing.
Yeah.
It's because obviously I'm not a wrestler. I've never laced up their boots, never been into the ring, took a bump.
I've never even been in a ring before.
But I had a pleasure of, like I said, sitting through that seminar, and the day before, by the way, it was Eugene.
Oh, Eugene,
so I got to sit through both of those, and you want to talk about two different. You would think they would be similar, but the seminars are so different. The things that they were talking about, And Al's first thing he said was, "This is going to set up for the Indy question I'm going to ask."
Yeah,
he would tell he asked them a question, "What's your job?" And the guys are like, "Oh, to have the best match or come out there," and he just keeps shaking his head, and he goes, "You have one job, and it's to sell tickets."
That's right.
Now the beauty of it is, he goes, Al Snow's not going to stand up here and tell you how to do that. He goes, you can go out there and do cartwheels all day if the crowd pops and loves it and they buy tickets and they come back next week to see you do cartwheels again. Sold. If you got to go out there and you got to wrestle 30-minute Ironman match and you're the technician and everybody pops and they buy the ticket again, come back next week to see you again, great. He goes, people come for me to hold up a mannequin head. They don't care how many moves I do. He goes, watch. He was on the card that night. He goes, watch my match tonight. I'm not doing that much, and they're going to pop. And sure enough, I was at that card that night, and he had them for 4 minutes. I clocked it before he did his first move, and the crowd was bananas because he just kept throwing the mannequin head up and throwing it up and down, and down. And so that's my thing is you've got to get out and. It's dangerous because a lot of people get comfortable in their territories and don't want to go to work somewhere else. And
you'll get stagnant. Yeah, you'll get stagnant. You'll get used to just doing your same old skit. And then eventually the fans that you are entertaining are now like, I mean, I've heard it put two different ways, but if you keep doing the same thing week in and week out, guys, you're going to get boring. I mean, it's going to happen. So if you don't start, even take what you're doing now, just innovate it a little bit. Give them something different. You got to swerve them every now and again. So.
Try to work something new into every
Definitely.
Cool. So you're working a pretty busy schedule in Georgia these days, man.
Yeah, I try to stay busy, man.
This weekend, for example, you've got a match Friday night.
Yes, sir.
NCW. They are in a tournament now for the title.
Yeah, I got beat by that Terry Lawler, man. So
and then he retired.
Yeah, he retired, man. They don't even get a rematch. Yeah, I think Terry he fell back into that hardcore lifestyle from the old NCW, man, because, he popped me in the head with a belt to get it, so I'll leave Terry alone. But now it's all up in the air. It should have just been relinquished back to me, in my opinion. Not put back up in a tournament. But, yeah, me and Theory just wrestled last Friday, or the Friday before last, which put me into the finals. I'm automatically in the finals. And I'll take on Ashton Starr for a qualification match. So.
I've done an interview with Ashton. I've met Ashton at events. He's a really nice guy, real cool guy.
Nice guy, but he's not making it in the tournament.
No, you're going to take him out.
We're going to cut that short.
Sorry about that, Ashton.
And not to go off tangent, he mentioned the name that I've met at at a Southern Fried show.
Yeah.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Austin Theory.
Theory, man.
I mean.
What can you say? Guy looks like $1 million and works like it too. Like the dude can go. Definitely one of my favorite opponents. I've enjoyed wrestling him every single time, but I mean, I'd have to say I like coming out with a win more than I do the loss to him.
Absolutely.
Over the top, the guy's got it all the way around.
We have to look.
I always said the potentials. The first day I met him, I saw him work at a Southern Fried show, and I actually walked over and talked to that Terry guy you were talking about.
Yeah, Terry guy.
And, he was like, "Yeah, this kid's got." He's got the potential.
He's again, that word innovative, man. Like, he does simple things, but does them in his own way that'll actually catch your attention.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's no Duckworth.
I mean, no, he's definitely no Duckworth. Yeah.
So we'll get back to the important stuff.
Yeah,
So, I saw that you had dropped your title to Terry, and Terry's a big friend of the show. That was got to be a tough way to lose it, but you had to lose it to the guy who is Mr. Georgia Wrestling, pretty much.
I mean, if that's what you want to say, I would say that I'm Mr. Georgia Wrestling now. But yeah,
well, he's retired now, man. Take the title.
I mean, I thought Terry should have had one more in there for me, but I understand. When it's your time to go, it's time to go. So he lucked out.
Now you're training at the One Fall.
Yeah.
And you talk really big about it. I noticed the other day that Cody Rhodes and his wife were training there, and you talk about all the names that are coming to that school.
Definitely. You got Tango Roa from New Japan who stopped in. Just came in on a Wednesday, man. We got to pick up some stuff from him and work with him. It was a lot of fun. Same thing with like Brandy and Cody. They came in. We've had Punishment Martinez come down. Glacier, he'll come up. Normally he does like those Sunday seminars. Another one where not a turnout you think that you were going to get, and that guy's got. I've learned more about etiquette and how to present yourself as a businessman from Glacier than anybody else. The guy's really got more to teach than just in ring.
That's good.
And I'm going to ask you this question because you mentioned it. You'll see. I told you I'm the king of tangents.
Oh, you're good, man. Yeah.
Is what you just said. Sometimes I hear that's a challenge that most people don't take as serious. They want to have the best match, but they don't have the etiquette of how to work with a promoter and work with and stuff, how to deal with that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, the wrestling's you build it on partnerships, everything you do. So it's not just what you do in the ring. You end up having to, like, it goes all the way back to resumes, just basic getting a job. Like, you're going to learn, you got to learn those things. You got to learn how to work with a promoter, and you got to promote their product, whatever it is. Of course, you yourself are a product, but when you work for a company, you got to represent what they stand for. So, learning to work in, those little business traits is always good. I mean, you got to make money together.
You're a brand.
Exactly.
Every day it's the Andrew Duckworth brand.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that goes not just for face-to-face, but social medias, your Twitters, your Facebooks,
definitely,
all that stuff.
Definitely.
So got to build that brand, but do it in the right way.
I would say it's a terrific brand. I'd get on board with it.
No, absolutely. We agree. Absolutely. But, like I said, it's just a danger. One of the things that when you say the people that don't have it, it's be careful what you say on Facebook or Twitter. Or, it can come back to haunt you because it does not.
Yeah, and there was some salty comments placed the other day by a guy. It was just about Bobby Heenan's death, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
Why are you going to do this? Because you're good. I mean, seriously, why would you shit on this in the middle of that? And you're just going to isolate
on the GOAT, man. Yeah. Greatest of all time, Heenan. You don't say nothing bad about it.
Well, you don't isolate anybody. I don't care. You don't ever say anything bad on social media that would cause anyone to be offended who might buy a ticket.
No, absolutely, yeah. No, I completely agree. When it comes down to it, it's about selling tickets. Yeah. And if you're offending people and you're turning them away, you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a business, and I think some people get too caught up in the theatrics and the wrestling mentality, the lifestyle, where I'm this person, and people are going to buy it, and unless you're Vince McMahon or unless you're Kevin Owens, people aren't just going to take what you say and run with it, and just accept it. In the independent circuit, people just have to. I mean, we found out that don't say shit about anybody. If you don't like somebody, it's you don't say anything about it or something gets mad or politics. I quit talking politics even on my home Facebook now.
Yeah, I'm not a politic guy. You don't hear me talk about it. Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Well, I remember when I was growing up and everything, I was told you don't talk about it. My grandparents and stuff were like, yeah, I'm voting for none of your business. Yeah. They wouldn't talk their politics because then it takes away an independent view.
Yep.
But like you said, you can't say anything bad, especially in wrestling. You would think, I think people get caught up in the fact that it's a subjective business. Mm-hmm. It's everybody's opinion, really. But you really got to watch what opinion you're putting out there and what you're standing behind. Yeah.
I had the same conversation with the interview I had last night where I said, I don't talk about them on Facebook, Twitter, etc. anyway because I'm not changing anybody's opinion on there on social media anyway.
No.
I'll have that conversation face to face with you.
Yeah.
But not Twitter, or Facebook.
Well, me and Nick are not on the same political spectrum. We're ballpark.
Gotcha.
But we don't really talk about it very much because there's no point.
It works easier that way. We don't kill each other. Nobody wants to see two.
No, we talk politics.
They might.
God, no, dude, my arthritis.
Anyway,
I couldn't even get up into a ring.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't call it so early. Book it.
No.
Hashtag book it.
No.
Maybe we'll get on.
It'd be a handicap match because I'd be handicapped.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So, but you got all your stuff. You're going right now. You're chasing down this belt again. That's rightfully yours.
Yeah, it's rightfully mine.
But they're going to make you earn it, right? So
they're
going to make you come back and get it.
It's the guys behind the scenes, man. That's not my call.
Who all is in this tournament?
Right now, the qualifications are all up this Friday. So, I know you got AC Mack was in the hunt. I think Odison just took him out last week, though. So, I know Odison's going to be in it now.
Mm-hmm.
As far as a lot of the guys coming up this week, I know you got David Ali's going to be on the show, Matt Gilbert. There's a lot of guys that's really going to be vying for it.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
A lot of broken hearts, man.
Yeah, a lot of tickets.
Yeah.
And then you turn around Sunday, and you're going to be on the Janie Strong card.
Janie Strong, man. Now that card really shaped up, and just a good cause.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's just a good cause. Everybody should. I mean, I really recommend everybody getting out there and supporting this.
Yeah, we are really excited about it. I got to meet Alan Angels at Southern Fried last week. Really nice guy, and he is put together a huge roster. Just the amount of talent that's going to be on that show is insane.
Yeah, all volunteer too. It all started with the question of who would help, and then a handful of guys hopped in, and next thing you know, you're looking at this huge blockbuster of a card that they're going to have this Sunday, and it's
almost like a WrestleMania style card.
I mean, you got Darby Allin's going to be there, Fred Yehai, AR Fox will be on that show. I mean, the list just goes forever. I mean,
we're excited because we got two friends of the show who apparently are having some beef, and they're going to drag one out of semi-retirement.
Yeah,
where Ike's facing Chris.
That's right.
The 13th floor is actually facing each other, so we're definitely going to have to make that drive up to that show. So.
That's the implosion of that 13th floor, right?
Yeah, I mean, it happens to the best. All factions eventually fall.
Exactly.
That's why it's best to stand alone, right?
Hey, there you go. Exactly.
A lot of different horsemen over the years.
Even the Mighty Horsemen had their issues. So, so I'm always like a standalone guy and do your thing. But we're excited about that card. And it's always nice. I'll see what you say about this as well. Wrestling gets a bad rap. I mean, about it gets everything that's said. But, I mean, stories which I'm not going to tell the story again, but like the story we told you before about what wrestlers do for communities and for people is just off the charts. And then I think more people, if they focused on that, they would.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think if people actually gave it the respect it deserved, as far as like if you gave it the look-see of like calling it an art form and just sticking with that, or if you're looking at like live action role play and stuff like those kind of things, like. They do really well for their communities. Again, in that Cornelia area, like a lot of people pull together and they'll be there for that Jenny Strong event. I guarantee it. Like the people are going to come out and they're going to support. But so I think it goes beyond the wrestlers too. Like, we can volunteer our time and stuff like that. But when the fans actually come together, they really make it happen. So, I mean, you can have as much star power on your card as you want. If the fans don't want to be there, they're not going to be there. But a lot of fans will see this and have it, see it as a chance to actually invest and get behind a good cause, and they will.
And y'all, it's not just your time; it's your health. Because anytime y'all get out there, there's always a chance you could get hurt, and it shows your dedication to what you're doing, and it shows your dedication to this cause. And that's what gets me is you'd be willing to go out there and risk injury to go out and perform and raise money for a child with pediatric cancer. That's very cool, man. That is very cool.
Well, thank you.
Who's in your who are you at a match with?
I will be with the Street Fighter David Ali and the Barefoot Badass, as they call him, Matt Gilbert. So me and Gilbert's been into it a few times, and me and Ali once. And I'm going to get him again. I'm telling you, cool. I got him again.
That's awesome. That's awesome, and I'm glad that it's going to go to benefit such a good cause. But on another note, I saw that you got a match coming up with Gangrel.
I'm really looking forward to this one. I remember, again, seeing Gangrel back with Edge and Christian when the Brood, and that image is still there. I'm not scared of him anymore, but there's always that that little spot where you're like, all right, it's a vampire. This is the real deal.
How do you get that match booked? I mean,
the opportunity just presented itself through Georgia Premier. I've got their Southern States title, and I've been defending it, and I told them to bring on whoever, and, well, Gangrel's the next guy.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So you have one belt already right now?
Yeah, I'm still holding Georgia Premier's Southern States title.
And you have to get back to the NCW and have two belts, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I was holding them both at the same time. I actually won them in the same weekend.
That's cool.
And, so, unfortunately, I got to get that one back. I'm lopsided when I'm walking.
I mean, to work with a guy like Gangrel, it's got to be, like you said, a guy that's been to the top, as they say. And you always hear things which most people, actually don't. Edge and Christian credit him a lot for their development coming up.
They do. I guess that's one of the reasons I'm really excited to be working with this guy, just to have the opportunity to see what he's about, what he can do, and any kind of info I can pick up along the way, I'm going to be all ears for.
That's cool, man. I wish I worked in a job where I could study at the feet of the masters and get that kind of influence from people.
So I got to tell people to hit them seminars. Yeah. Right back to those seminars. Like that information's out there. You don't have to wait for them to come to your town. Sometimes you have to hop in the car and go get them.
Yeah. Now, you said you've gone as far as Monster Factory, and you go to the Power Factory. Have you had any other seminars anywhere?
Actually, my first seminar was at Pro South. Mike Quackenbush from Chikara.
Yeah.
And that one right there, really gave me the idea of, wow, wrestling needs to be taken serious. Like, this is an art form. You have to hone your craft, sharpen your tools. And pretty much due to that seminar alone is when I realized that you have to take this serious if you want to go anywhere with it. So after that seminar, I've worked with Ricky Reyes from Lucha Underground, Ricky Steamboat. Went over like a psychology. He just walked up and started talking to us for like an hour at Georgia Premier and just filled us full of more than I could actually walk away comprehending. But yeah, then with the Power Factory and stuff like that, that's really opened a lot of doors as far as being able to travel and have the opportunities to go to places like Monster Factory, which is obviously the world famous Monster Factory. You know, they've got all the tools up there, so you can't say enough good things about what Danny Cage is doing up there. So.
Oh yeah, well, actually I follow him on Facebook and Twitter, and it's like he's constantly got pictures up, and like I said, you know, on his, he's always hyping, you know, the and it's you can tell by looking at it, it's a first class facility.
Yeah, well, now he's got like the Monster Factory network up, and he's putting so much content out there that, and something I like that Danny does that a lot of places don't do is they put their training right out there. Like you can click on and see you can see some videos of Danny doing stuff. Man, it's just he's willing to do it.
Yeah, no, we our friends over at Rocky Mountain Pro we were talking about earlier. They actually Facebook Live their classes nightly.
Yeah,
so you can just sit there and watch, and it's a good learning. You know, and they you can see who they put through there. You know, and Matt was trained by Snow.
Yeah.
So that you kind of get and you trust me, I've seen them both speak, and it's very similar. You know, but then they have also they've had guys like Roy Sykes that go through there, who's over in Japan now, but you can see him on any given day when he's in the U.S. He'll be there teaching.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of stuff, like you said, just you got to get. It's as Matt put it. It's a commercial.
Well, it's that social media outlet, man. Like there's so much information is readily available now that wasn't before. And you just don't see guys taking a lot of advantage of that.
Oh yeah,
it's advertisement. It's just an advertisement. It's a running 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week advertisement. Anybody can see it anytime, and it could be seen by millions of people. It's just amazing if you look at the metrics on a tweet, and it's like, how did 10,000 people see a video of me talking about the wrestling match I saw the night before?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, and I don't get how that works, and I don't get, but it's just so much exposure online right now, and it's a commercial. It's a running advertisement for what you're doing. It's like, okay, where's Bob Evans this week? If you follow Bob Evans, you see Bob Evans where he's at. Man's all across the place teaching, working with people. You hear what he has to say about the business. You hear his messages, his. I'm not a wrestler, but I hear what he says, and there's a lot of things Bob Evans says that make sense in the real world too.
Absolutely, Bob's got the. I normally try to catch him in the mornings when he's on live. You'll see him to hang with Bob, little info videos he does, and then he'll do some Facebook Lives, and you can just learn so much from just setting in for that, you know, the 20, 30 minutes that he's on. And in my opinion, Bob Evans is one of those guys that can really spark an interest and inspire you to get out there and do something.
Yeah. Well, you got some really cool ink, man. Where'd you get all that done?
Actually, I worked in tattoo industry for a while. I was actually a professional body piercer. Just kind of did the Prince Albert thing, I guess. So yeah, all this is just ink that I collected while working there. Each thing's got a little bit of story attached to it some way or another.
Cool. I have a couple tattoos on my leg, and I would do it more. It's just expensive, and it's a lot of time.
You're not
a lot of planning. You know, it's fun. I enjoyed it. I like having ink, but like I said, it's costly.
It is. I mean, even with like the prep afterwards and stuff, you gotta make sure you're like top notch taking care of it and stuff.
Oh yeah, I didn't take care of one of mine. I didn't take care of one of mine, and it busted open, and the pigment faded where it split, and it was like, you're gonna have to have that one touched up. But it's a really cool one. I enjoyed that one. You see a lot of tattoos on wrestlers these days. You see more and more guys with full tattoos. You look at Roman Reigns; he's got his tattoos.
More acceptable.
Yeah, it's more acceptable. I mean, it's society.
Yeah,
everybody in society has.
Network's got the ink show and stuff like that now. Like, it's almost pop culture.
Yeah, it has become popular, and you see, not Cody. Why can't I ever remember the guy, the commentator?
Corey Graves.
Corey Graves.
Corey Graves,
inked up everywhere. And you're seeing the African Americans have those full body tattoos, which I think looks neat. Where you can't quite read them all from away, but it's really good detail and looks good. I think it's like wrestling is changing somewhat to accept society.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think you're seeing that like the more like you see all this equal rights stuff on there, which I tell people all the time that I don't agree with equal rights because it's a lie, but everybody's just trying to get ahead in my opinion.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to actually true equality, you're starting to see that with like the Divas Revolution, which is now the Women's Revolution, which is just fantastic.
Oh, I'd agree.
And then guys like Joey Ryan on the independent scene, it's like the intergender matches, like you're starting to see a rise of those. It's, So, I mean, I would say so.
That's something that is incredibly popular, and I'm still having a hard time warming up to it.
The intergender?
Yeah.
I remember, you'd watch like a Right to Censor and stuff like that, and you have Ivory, and if a guy, clotheslined or hit her, that was a big deal. Like, people have lost their mind over that. Nowadays, it's acceptable. Like, it's fine.
It's one of those things that they're still not doing on the WWE. They don't have the intergender matches there. And I think maybe one day, because I think that's a lot of where wrestling is going, because there are women now that can hang with the men.
I mean, we had Chyna back in the day.
I was exactly about to go
Chyna
there.
Jarrett, man. Yeah, that was there, and it was believable. It was there. It was good.
I think you need the right person for me to accept it. Like I don't want to see Alexa Bliss wrestle, any guy.
Yeah, I don't want to see Strowman Bliss. Like,
I mean, now if you told me I was going to get, and this is cross branding or whatever at this point, but if you told me Ellsworth was going to fight Nia Jax because she had a beef with Carmella, I could take that.
Actually, that interested me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I don't want to, like you said, it's just you got to be careful, and that's my whole thing.
You see successful examples along the way, like even when Eric Young did the thing with ODB, like they had the women's tag champs and stuff like that. Just a different dynamic, a different way of doing it. But Lucha Underground's really strong on theirs.
Yeah, they've had a female champion there for a while.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you've interviewed Dementia DeRose, so you could see her with, that's there's certain wrestlers, Kikyo, that we've seen, that we could see that with probably. But as a whole, I'm not a fan of it.
I'm still trying to figure it out. I know the women seem to be more excited about it than the men. Just about all the female wrestlers I talk to want to wrestle intergender matches. And it's like, well, okay. I mean, people are buying tickets to see it. Ashton Starr works a ton of them, and he does a great job with those.
I would agree.
He draws heat. Now, he knows how to pull some heat at a show.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's going back to, you're going to have to face
I've
that.
I've got Ashton this Friday, man. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm watching his stuff. Yeah. Personally, like I'm a fan of Ashton Starr, so I'm definitely going to look forward to taking him on Friday.
He's another one of those guys who can get around the ring really well. He can do the distraction. He can do the whole package. He can get the crowd into it. You underestimate him because of his gimmick, and he wrestles women and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. Underrated, absolutely.
Yeah, but he can do things that you would not expect. I have seen some stuff out of him that was very impressive. Now, I don't know if anybody beats Camilla Kane right now, but that's a hell of a match.
Yeah, exactly. We told you we're the kings of tangent. So let's go back. I want to ask you some questions. Let's talk Andrew Duckworth now. Let's a little bit about where you came from, what's your style. A lot of that stuff. Like you're starting to wrestling. Did you just kind of one day decide? Or were you a fan as a kid, or all that good stuff?
Yeah, I was a huge fan as a kid, and I always wanted to pursue it, and I never did. Like I grew up from a hardworking family background, so you just get out there and get a job, and that's what you do. And I did that and hated it, and still hate it. And I was trying to bond with my oldest son, Dryston. He'll be 9 next month. And I took him to a wrestling event. I seen a flyer for a little independent show. It was based out of Gainesville. And I said, all right, let's go to this thing. I'm going to take him. I loved it as a kid, and we went, and we had a blast. And on the ride home, he was like, so you wanted to be a wrestler? And I said, yeah. He said, well, why are you not a wrestler? And I was like, well, I don't have an answer for you. So I ended up started training like 2 weeks later, and I've been at it ever since. I actually had to take a little bit of time off and get serious with it and build up the funds. I realized real early on during my training, like, this is truly an investment. You're going to need gear. You're going to need actual training. You can't just go learn from anybody. You need to learn from somebody.
Right.
Because good little word of advice was told to me was, it's not who you know, it's who's willing to say they know you. So when you earn that kind of level of respect, you're going to start moving places. So I took time off and got a regular job again there for a while. When I built up the funds, here I am back and coming up on my second year. So almost in it 2 years straight now.
You do a lot of working out, too, because you're always posting and tagging yourself into the gym.
Well, if you don't tag yourself on Facebook at the gym, it doesn't count.
Exist.
It doesn't count. So, yeah, I try to make sure that I tag myself. But a lot of people, they'll think I'm just tagging it to put it on there or gloat or whatever. But really, I put those kind of quotes up there, like a quote that's motivational or a gym post, because people go and like your stuff, so you get that notification. And when you look down and you see that same quote that you posted that morning that was motivational, and then at 12 o'clock someone's liked it again, there's that notification. It stays fresh all day. So you just keep pushing yourself. So technically it's a selfish thing.
Well, you know, that's the beauty of social media these days is you've got, like I said, a free advertising platform.
Absolutely.
Somebody sees your stuff, they might be at the same gym, so I'll go up, say hello, sell a ticket next week.
That would be fantastic, but I don't think anybody will come to the gym. I don't know what it is.
Well, we talked about the negatives of social media. Now here's the positives of social media.
Definitely.
Using it as an advertisement tool, that's always good. You know,
now, who are your favorite wrestlers, man?
The all-time favorite. People, they're like, I don't get it, but Diamond Dallas Page is my guy, man. That's
the hardest working man in the business.
First guy I ever met as a kid. Georgia Mountain Center. My dad took me out back, and we met a couple guys, like Hacksaw was there, Luger, but Page actually took the time to, like, take a photo op with me and put me in the diamond cutter and all this fun stuff. And from then on, I was sold. That was my guy. And, you know, of course, the famous pull-in, Scott Hall hit the cutter. From then on, DDP was my guy.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's a personal bond in wrestling.
Definitely.
People don't just see a guy on television and say, I like that guy because I like that.
Nah,
wrestling, you get that personal thing.
I liked him before I met him because he had it all. He had the girls, he had the glasses, the suits, the diamonds, cigar, gum. There was nothing he didn't have. So, naturally drawn to him.
And the guy, his work ethic is supposed to be like second to none.
Has to be.
And working hard, teaching himself the business, training, trying always to do, and putting
the yoga now.
Yeah.
We had same thing with One Fall Power Factor. They had the yoga guys come in. We had a guy named Hayden who actually worked for DDP Yoga. DDP Yoga came in and did a little thing with us, and we all got a month free to use the app for attending the camp. But getting to learn that, like, how yoga keeps you flexible and stuff like that, but the way that Paige is doing it, you're starting to see it as almost like a preventative for injuries. It's like preconditioning yourself.
We both bought the DVD, and I've done one lesson. And I can see where it would help.
Definitely.
Clearly Jericho and Rhodes are, Goldust are, clearly examples of that it clearly works.
Yeah.
Well, the fact of, like, it's a really good warm-up exercise, too. So when you find yourself in these crowded locker rooms, you don't have a lot of room to move around. So that yoga will play into that. You can warm up in a small amount of space and really get warmed up to go.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm a fan, and it'll work you out more than you think. Because everybody does it under the that resistance workout thing.
You start doing it, you're like, man, this is
Oh, I've been sore. Trust me, I've been sore before doing it. And my wife laughs when she's like, "You're sore." I'm like, "Yes." But it's legit. It's a real deal. So I completely agree with you. So,
like you said, his work ethic, man. Like, that's probably the most inspiring thing about Paige is the guy's never not working.
Yeah. And he's positive, and he helps other people, and he's able to get out there, and you just see, okay, and somebody will send him a picture of, like, I've lost some weight or something, and you just see he celebrates them, or and the wrestlers he's helped. Look at Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
He's working with Scott Hall.
Scott, I know, right? Night and day on that one.
Yeah. Well, and it's just off again on tangent, but I've heard Diamond give him credit for Diamond's like, look, he made me.
Yeah.
That diamond cutter to Scott Hall, made him.
Yeah, that made man.
Yeah, so the return the favor to Scott Hall was like, I think he was
cool.
one of those, in his eyes, the least he could do, thing. So, but who's that guy now? Like you said, let's say you're a fan, you're moving on, and you get in, what's that next phase?
Like, as far as
you're getting in training, we moved on. You're starting to you got serious. You're a couple years into it. Is there somebody like in the ring that you were like, this, you learn?
So like a current guy that I love just to watch, and easy, man, Bobby Roode. I'm a huge Bobby Roode fan.
Shockingly, if we're sitting here looking at him, that makes sense.
Yeah.
When he says that.
That man cut a promo for the ages last night.
Bobby he's the guy. When he came and it became his NXT, I was like, yes, he's taking over. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do in the main roster. There's so many guys he hasn't locked up with that I can't wait to see. Personally, I would like to see him and Orton. I think him and Orton would be a really good storytelling-based match.
Yeah. And I think Orton's just he's a heel all the time, even when he's a face.
Leave him alone. Leave him there.
Yeah.
But Bobby's looking really positive. He was in that promo with Ziggler last night. Yeah. And it's looking like Bobby's going to be a face.
They They were gonna. I think they were gonna try, and after that first night, they're like, "This isn't gonna work."
Glorious is too
that's
amazing.
Awesome.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's my ringtone, so I can't say much. It went off at one of the super camps, and everyone was like, "Look at this guy with his Bobby Roode." I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Everybody likes Bobby Roode. I don't know.
He's looking like a Ric Flair. He's wearing the robe. His hair is perfect. Like I said, the body's perfect. The guy is sharp. And that's important.
For years, I thought he was one of the most underrated guys. I mean, even in Impact and all that.
Absolutely.
So it killed me that he was there for so long, and I don't have anything begrudgingly against Impact. It was just like he's one of the best wrestlers. Not that many people see, is what I used to say.
Yeah, I want to see him on a big screen.
Yeah,
big show.
So. That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see what Roode's going to be at WrestleMania. I want to see it.
Yeah.
You want to see the glorious entrance?
I want to see the glorious entrance.
Awesome. That would be awesome.
That's going to be a long ramp to get down. Because
Good God, they ran them down on carts.
I loved it too, man. I seen because I remember was it Royal Rumble? It was
crazy.
It was
Rumble
long.
They had him on the carts. Yeah,
and Bray, I was like, all right, Bray Wyatt's out. Okay, cool. He's got cool entrances. Let's see what he's doing. And then they cut away from it real quick, and then you see him on like a little Segway on his way down. I'm like, oh, okay.
Nobody wants to blow up on the way to the ring.
Yeah.
That's not good. So
that was pretty cool, though.
I agree.
At least bring back the old the mini rings that Savage and Andre used to come out in. Yeah, bring those back, man.
That was awesome.
I always dug them.
That was awesome. I love watching those old videos of the old matches.
Oh, man, that's good stuff.
You're a network guy, I'm assuming.
I'm staying on the network.
Yeah.
I'll go a couple of weeks where I don't watch any wrestling because we're training, I'm in the gym, I'm moving. And then the last 2 weeks I've done nothing but watch old WCW. And by old, I mean, 1993 to 95.
Oh, yeah.
I chuckled. That's 2 years after I graduated high school. But old. Yeah. We'll go with that. So.
God, yeah.
Well, I'm getting
I know. You're a little bit younger than us. And that happens.
We're aging rapidly. But that's the thing. Because once you get past 40, it starts going so much faster.
Don't tell me that now.
And I'll ask you this because we get this a lot from, we've interviewed guys and they're like, well, I don't have the network or something. And I'm like, why would you not?
Why not? Yeah.
I'm like, again, it goes back to the investment in you have a, with football players, for example, they watch film, they watch tape. And I'm like, if your matches aren't taped, you could go watch other people's and you can learn some things.
Mm.
And I had one guy says, I just sit down, put in Ricky Steamboat matches and just watch them.
Oh, Steamboat can go too. I just watched him and Stunning Steve, and it was a wonderful match, man. Him and Steamboat were tearing it down. And that's some of the stuff we'll actually do, we'll do at our trainings and stuff like that. We'll film study, sit down and learn how to and actually break down film and be able to take something away from it and make it your own. So,
I'm going to ask you, do you sit there when you're watching something like that and go I'm trying this Friday?
Absolutely. That is guaranteed it's going to happen this week. Yeah. I'm going to see something. I think a lot of guys, they don't use that video library the way they should. Everybody has an idea of how they wrestle or someone they feel that they're similar to. And same thing with your opponent. You should be able to look at them and say, okay, my opponent wrestles like these guys, and I wrestle like these guys. Let me see if there's a match between the two of them. Let's see what they did. I mean, wrestling's plagiarism, right?
You're in a business. I'm you're in a business where it's all been done. There's really nothing
to do.
Yeah. So let's spin it and modernize it, or whatever you want to call it. We won't even say the names of the card, but we just saw a match Saturday.
Yeah.
Where the crowd was insane.
Yeah.
And it was just a brawl through the crowd, and then get into the ring. And and here's the funny part, it wasn't even a clean finish. There's a DQ finish.
Yeah.
But it was just a brawl for personal reasons.
Yeah.
And it was the hottest. The crowd was all night long. It was so old school that it wasn't even funny.
They threaded it
no
through the
flips.
program.
There were no and nothing against guys that do that.
Yeah,
no flips,
not at all.
No dives. Nobody went over the top. It just was a brawl. And then we looked at each other and go, that old school stuff still works.
It does. Yeah. I like when cards have the mix up too, where you got your high flying guys and stuff like that. But sometimes you need a Vader Cactus Jack in there once in a while to really just go at it. Again, it's wrestling's opinionated. Everybody has their opinion on what's the best.
On any given night, where do you fall on that? When you're
between them. I tell everybody, as far as the new school versus old school argument, I think that both can really benefit if we can learn to work them together. There's really good examples of old school guys working, that newer generation. It makes some amazing matches. Like when you think of, I think it was Rock and Hogan. What year was that? 18 or something? 18 or something like
17.
that. Was it
17 or 18?
It was 17 or 18.
18. Sorry,
but like that's a classic example. Like The Rock was a newer generation, and you see it again with Rock versus Cena. And I think it'll just keep evolving to that point. But eventually, what's old comes new again.
I think the Hogan Rock match was the biggest pop I've ever seen in a crowd.
Nick
made me watch it. We were doing some stuff about old WrestleManias, and the way the crowd blew up.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like that.
I think that's where the argument should die. Like, if whatever you're doing, you feel like, and the crowd's invested into it, and that's what's selling tickets, that's what people want to see, then your style works.
Yeah. The show we did was greatest WrestleMania moments. It wasn't matches. It was moment, and that's my number one. And everybody says, why? And I'm like, because I don't think I've ever seen
the Rock and
the Rock Hogan moment of before the match. Everybody goes, so the match. I'm like, no, literally before they started.
Yeah,
when they're standing there and they're just looking at the crowd, and the crowd's going nuts, and it's Hogan, Rock, back and forth in the crowd, and I'm like, that's. Like I said, that's what you're wanting.
Yeah, that's that old school style was built on moments, not moves. And I think when you get those right moments, that's what people are going to remember. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't remember every little move that somebody did in a match, but I can remember that defining moment. Yeah. Like, for me, it was WrestleMania 24, Flair, Michaels, the super kick, the I love you super kick. That was like the moment for me. I don't know what it is about that moment, but seeing Ric Flair actually take it right on the chin to walk out was,
I had one of those seminars, and the guy says it's about moments. It's about making them spend the money to come back to see the next thing. And he goes, "What's your favorite moment in wrestling?" Somebody answered. He goes, "Who won the match?" And the guy struggled to answer the question. He goes, "My point exactly."
Exactly.
Sometimes the finish isn't. He goes, "You're selling to the finish."
Yeah.
But the moment that you remember sometimes is X.
Yeah, it's whatever you were able to take emotionally home with and talk about on that ride home. Mm-hmm. That's what you paid for.
Yep. You got to make that bond with fans, and I think right now on the main product, that's where the problem is. It's just not. It's not hitting.
You would think though, like when it goes back to social media, as easy it is to make yourself a brand. I think. Maybe guys are just getting too caught up in the character, or maybe they're not putting it out there where they're making themselves relatable.
Yeah, I think Cena actually does the best of anybody out there, because when he posts on social media, he's helping people. Yeah. When he's in the ring, he's cutting straight on promos. Yeah. His matches have become top-notch matches. Every match. The match with AJ was a clinic.
Well, we talked about off air a while ago. Like, I didn't realize I was a Cena fan. I actually caught myself being a fan because. Yeah. Like I said, I'm always watching the product, but it's always a couple days later. I don't watch it live. I get the dulled down Hulu version, and I fast forward to what I want to see. But when you hear, oh, wow, Cena's back, and I'm going to turn on the TV, then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wait, I'm a Cena guy. Okay, didn't know that. But
he's sold me solid. It's the last couple of runs he's had with his promos. Who was the one he did before this one?
Obviously he had the AJ, he had the run, he had the Roman run. Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. He's done everybody. I mean, everybody that says he can't work,
he just brings it back.
Argument's over. But I say the same thing about Roman. Everybody that says Roman,
it's the same thing though. Like when you go back to like when we talk about moments versus moves, like some moves are just that iconic. Like when you think of the People's Elbow, everybody knows what the People's Elbow looks like. Yeah, it's that move, and The Rock. But you can't really name much more that he did. I mean, the rock bottom, People's Elbow.
He cut a lot of good promos.
Yeah, he could talk.
Yeah.
It's all about
same thing with Austin. I remember flipping birds and the stunner. Yeah. And the Luthez press. That's what I remember from Steve.
Yeah.
I don't remember much else.
Oh, yeah. And now I ask you, because one of the downfalls a lot of people ask about is it because the heels are so busy trying to be cool? They don't want heat. They want cool.
They want that at Bullet Club. Heel style, yeah.
NWO, I think, kind of just popped that change in wrestling.
Yeah, you need the guys that are you just got to hate them. I mean, there's got to be those guys. And finally, I think now people are finally getting that concept back. Yeah. There's got to be a villain to the story.
Well, I talked to...
And not a likable one.
Yeah, I talked to Evan Jalisco about about what he does. And I'm like, I've seen you live a couple times. I've booed you both times. And I think you've done exactly what you were set out there to do. You set out there to be the heel and make people dislike you, and you did a very good job.
I mean, if that's what you're paid to do, that's what you should be doing. I mean, yeah. And you're starting to see even heel work's getting innovative. Like we were talking about, we don't talk about politics, but what's his name? The progressive liberal is taking off, and people legitimately can't stand him.
Yeah, draws heat.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but guys are going to pay tickets to see him get his ass kicked.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Well, it's the ones that are still doing it right are your Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
he's drawing the good heat. The way it's supposed to be. And so and then let's be honest. Everybody last week, the big controversy was, did Jinder Mahal go too far in his promo? Did he get heat? People don't like him. I mean, it's a complicated. It's a very touchy where they're going with him. Period.
Well, I'm not even sure that with Jinder, if I legitimately dislike Jinder because he's heel, or if I just don't like Jinder, I don't know.
It's a tough one, yeah.
Yeah, I've tried. Like, I watch his stuff, and I'm just, I don't get excited for him. Right. But in the same time, when he's involved in something, I'm interested. I want to kind of keep up, but I don't know. I can't decide if I just legitimately don't like him or what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of that ambiguity on the main roster right now. You've got Strowman and Lesnar.
See, I was assuming Strowman was a heel this whole time, but then I'm like, I root for him. Like I'm a Strowman guy. I like Strowman. Yeah. I want to see him come out and lay waste. Mm-hmm. That's what he does.
This is kind of he led me right to where I wanted to go. Great job. Is that to me, Lesnar's not a heel. Braun's not a heel.
No.
All they do is they're badasses who go in the ring and kick the crap out of people. And what's not to like about that?
Well, I mean, it's like Hogan. That's what Hogan did. It's just modernized. Yeah. It's not as over the top cartoony anymore. It's just dialed down. We all know that Lesnar's a legit. I mean, he's a badass. There's nothing you can't change that. And then when you get a guy like Strowman, who else is going to be bigger and better than Lesnar?
I mean, and I think where I'm asking that is to get to you here at this point is to say, I think that's to the detriment of the guy you're trying to make the good guy.
Yeah.
Because if you're wanting Roman to be the good guy and you're putting him against Brock Lesnar, who you built he doesn't cheat. There's no interference. He doesn't say anything to the okay.
He's just beating you.
He's not a bad guy.
Yeah, at the end of the day, whoever the better wrestler is that's who the fans are going to like. That's the baby. So yeah, when you're putting that much pressure on someone like Roman, I mean, it's kind of unfair.
So that's where I was going, is to with your style.
Yeah.
When you're the bad guy. I mean, by any means necessary, you win.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
And that's kind of where I say, that's your twist to it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, if I can get a quick win by knocking a guy out when the ref's not looking, I'm going to do it.
Right.
Yeah. It's not my fault.
What are the
hire a better ref?
Checks and championships, right? That's what it's about.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
The whole a little tug on the tights, a little shot while the ref's not looking, or any of that. That's to me is imperative for the bad guy.
Storyline development.
And people like to use that word cheating all the time, but I want to hear it. Every sport's like that. I mean, come on. You hear it all the time. There is holding on every football play. Mm-hmm. You don't always call it. So if I throw a close fist here and there, I don't want to hear about it. It's fine. He's okay.
Foot on the ropes, whatever. It's the ref's job to see it.
It's the ref's job.
I agree. So.
Man, that's been fun. That is cool. It's good to talk wrestling, and when you realize that a year ago we were sitting around here just shooting shit, talking wrestling. Now we're talking wrestling here with a real wrestler. How did we get to this point, Nick?
Well, it's all connections, man. It's all connections. So.
All connections.
But man, yeah, it's what else? I know you got a big schedule coming up, man. Before we get out of here, let's make sure we plug where you going to be.
Well, we've got another benefit show coming up in November, the 17th. It's going to be in Saltina Coochie. It's the Karen Hens benefit show, and it's shaping up to be a good one. Right now, I think the first match that was announced is AC Mack will be there taking on Bobby Popham.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to be there. I'm going to be up that way. And actually, NCW is not going to be running that Friday.
Cool.
Well, yeah, they're shutting down for the benefit, so to allow fans to go over there and support the cause again. So
that's good to hear.
Yeah, we got Gangrel on the 14th, October 14th. George Premier will be running in Roseville again on October 13th, the day before. So double shot. You got two chances to catch Georgia Premier, one in Roseville, one in Canton. Definitely, I'd suggest people trying to get to one of those shows. So
absolutely. And if they're trying to find you, because we talked about social media
absolutely,
today, where do they find you on social media?
Well, you can find me if you're on Instagram, it's at Duckworth Wrestling. Twitter is at Duck 'em Up. That's Duck_EM and then _UP up. And then there's the Duckworth Wrestling page, which is just Drew Duckworth Wrestling page on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And you can always find all the flyers. Everything's going to be on one of those social media accounts.
Because one of the things that's what we wanted to give you some really good props on is it's promote where you're going to be at. You do it very well. You're sharing.
I love seeing the posts.
I wanted people to come get that ticket. So
Well, we're just amazed sometimes that when wrestlers are on cards and they never once share, tweet, or anything. It's just like
when I'm on a show like we talked about earlier. I'm a brand. I'm a product, and I want people to buy my product. And if I'm on a show, I want them to come see me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, when they go home, I want them to love the whole show, but go home talking about me.
Absolutely, and that's why you're here and we're talking about it.
Hey, right, that's what I'm talking about.
Working.
Yeah,
it's working. So
I like to stay in the airwaves. That's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's we look forward to hopefully having you back. He's got a list of stuff we didn't even cover, and we're running out of time. So.
Hey, man, I would love to come back. Bring me back.
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Definitely. So. I'll let you close this up,
Myron.
Myron.
We do appreciate having you on today. Thanks, folks, for listening. And go out there and see Andrew Duckworth. Look for him on the cards. Look for him all around. Find him on the Internet. Check out him. Check out his matches. Find him on YouTube.
And when you see him at the show, shirts?
Oh, shirts. Yeah, we still got the Pop action figure shirts up. The Ultimate Pop shirt. Actually be going on sale, so it'd be $15 a shirt, man. So
cool.
up
That's
on
a
there.
Good price on a shirt.
Absolutely.
Not to mention the duck whistles are out there on the merch table now, and people are loving those. So
yeah,
absolutely. We always say when you're out of your show, buy the merch.
Buy the merch.
Support the wrestlers
exactly.
Directly. That's why I always try to plug.
Oh yeah. Well, we appreciate you listening tonight, folks. Thank you so much, and have a good evening.